Yes, yeah, no, I never imagined that we'd ever have a president like this, and I hope we don't ever have another president like this again. I mean, I never even imagined there would ever be a situation in which the president of our country was celebrating hundreds of Americans.
They're eating their cats, they're eating the dogs. Welcome back to COVID.
Charlie, I thought this was a conspiracy theory, and like all conspiracy theories, it turns out to be true.
Oh, what is going on with that lisp? A conspiracy theory, you say? Who is conspiring? Immigrants from Port-au-Prince? I mean...
It kicks off with the kind of madness only the Trump clan can manufacture. A father tweeting like it's a second language, and a son pretending that born rich counts as a leadership skill. Jimmy Kimmel barely has to lift a finger this time, the material delivers itself. Don Jr. storms across the digital stage like a motivational speaker who got rejected by TEDx and fell into a MAGA rally, armed with slogans that sound like they were brainstormed on his dad's golf cart between lawsuits.
This was not a good night for the president. Everything he touched was a loser. He posted, "And so it begins," which was either a response to Mamdani winning the mayoral race, or he just sat down on the
White said it was the most incredible cheer with my father of someone walking into the arena in his history of doing it. An insanely awesome evening with my father.
He's going to miss that guy so much when he goes to prison.
Meanwhile, Trump is back under the lights again. Like a reality show villain who refuses to believe the finale actually aired. He's not leading a comeback, he's reliving a rerun. Every public appearance feels like season 10 of a show everyone canceled years ago. Same grievances, same delusions, and this same confusion about why the rest of the cast has moved on.
Mr. Mayor, we are on day 35 of the government shutdown, now tied for the longest shutdown since the last time Trump shut the government down. This morning, he threatened to delay SNAP benefits to the 42 million Americans who need them until the shutdown is over. And then his press secretary had to go out there and walk that back because he legally can't do it. It really is amazing. The president says one thing, the White House says...
Don Jr., meanwhile, acts like he's auditioning for the role of Mini-Me in the tragic opera Make Attention Great Again. Every speech sounds like a man trying to prove he's the chosen one, except nobody's choosing. He films himself in random hotel rooms smirking like a wannabe rebel philosopher, tossing out hot takes that sound bold until you realize they're empty calories of outrage.
Who is conspiring? Immigrants from Port-au-Prince? I mean, I wed that they're wothing I with feathers.
It's disgusting and it should not be happening in America. It shouldn't be happening anywhere else in the civilized world, but that's the reality. Okay? You look at Haiti, you look at the demographic makeup, you look at the average IQ. If you import the third world into your country, you are going to become the third world. That's just basic. Like, it's not racist, it's just fact.
I don't know, sounds pretty rich.
Trump's obsession with legacy is Kimmel's favorite punchline. Watching him try to cement his face on Mount Rushmore with a can of self-tanner. And blind confidence is peak comedy. He calls himself a builder, but everything he builds collapses: companies, marriages, credibility. The only thing still standing is his ego. And that thing's built like a skyscraper without insurance.
It's like the one hand doesn't know what the other tiny, bruised, makeup-covered, greasy, genitalia-grabbing, Sharpie-stained baby hand is doing. And also, hey, you just think about how cruel a person has to be to cut off food to 42 million people. It's the kind of thing that makes you go, oh, no wonder his kid...
Don Jr. keeps insisting the Trump name still means greatness instead of subpoenas. He parades through interviews like a man on a redemption tour with nothing to redeem. Kimmel jokes that Don Jr. talks about freedom like a man who thinks memes are policy. Graphics that look like they were photoshopped by a guy stuck in 2016's comment section.
And today, the prodigal son took to Daddy's famous escalator to announce what could be the Trump family's greatest grift yet.
It's great to have everyone back here on Trump Tower on this very fateful day, 10 years later. A lot has happened since then, and we're here to announce something pretty special. We've been working for a long time trying to deliver for the American people, for doing something unique for people who'd been underserved. And today we're here to introduce Trump Mobile.
Wow, thanks for doing that.
Trump's still out here believing he's the hero of a movie nobody's watching. Every rally feels like a high school reunion where only he showed up. He repeats the same stories, same insults, same everyone loves me routine. Kimmel says he's like an aging Vegas magician, no tricks left, but still demanding applause. Don Jr.'s confidence is caffeine-fueled chaos. the energy of an influencer who joined a revolution by accident. Trump, on the other hand, calls everyone corrupt while running the biggest brand in self-interest since Big Tobacco. His rallies aren't politics, they're a live audition for immortality.
Who never missed a Happy Meal in his life is deciding who gets to eat in this country. So after a federal court ordered them to do it, the Trump administration agreed to pay half the benefits, which is not enough. So we are going to have to help. There are many great organizations feeding those who need food. Two of them are here in LA, St. Joseph Center and LA Food Bank. Together, they feed over 1.3 million people a month. And they're going to...
Don Jr.'s defenses of his father have the enthusiasm of a hype man at an empty arena. He insists the ship is sailing fine while it's halfway underwater. Kimmel compares it to someone claiming the Titanic is just redecorating. Don Jr. waves his arms, yells they're scared of us, but no one's even looking. His live streams feel less like commentary and more like therapy sessions where the mirror interrupts. Kimmel quips that Don Jr. sounds like a man radicalized by his own reflection, not content. Just a cry for validation in HD.
Is being held responsible for making safety last, but fortunately for him, he's got an ardent defender in one Donald J. Jr.
Pete Buttigieg, you saw in the clip earlier, he's taking some personal time because, 19 days isn't enough time. Plus the time he spent chest feeding while we were in the midst of a supply chain crisis and 350 million Americans were depending on him to do his damn job. But there is no accountability. There's not even the expectation of these guys doing their jobs.
Trump's rallies remain the crown jewel of absurdity. Half infomercial, half church revival, all ego therapy. Kimmel says they're like concerts where the artist refuses to play new songs. The crowd chants every word by memory. No policy, just nostalgia on loop. Don Jr., meanwhile, has turned victimhood into merch. He complains about censorship while trending and oppression while selling t-shirts. Kimmel jokes he's trying to trademark oppressed millionaire. The Trump show keeps running like a sitcom long after cancellation. Same cast, same script, just worse lighting point.
There's a commission that's supposed to review projects like this, preferably before they happen. It's called the Commission of Fine Arts. Their job is to oversee new federal architecture, or it was anyway. Trump fired all of them. They were supposed to advise the president on matters of design and aesthetics to preserve the dignity of the nation's capital. But this is Trump's idea of dignified aesthetics. So now Trump's planning to bring in a new group whose tastes align more with his. He's bringing in the architect from the Cheesecake Factory, Flavor Flav's orthodontist, and the plumber from Cribs to add a chocolate fondue fountain.
Don Jr.'s image has become a one-man blooper reel. He talks leadership while sounding like a guy who Googled how to sound deep and gave up halfway. Kimmel jokes he should give a TED Talk called Failing Upward, the Trump Way. Trump still treats politics like a casino where the rules change when he loses. Kimmel says he could lose in solitaire and still cry rigged. The empire he built now looks like a legal department with a catchphrase. Don Jr.'s out here clutching blueprints for a brand that's already rubble, selling nostalgia for a country that only exists in Trump's speeches.
Speaking of car wrecks, Donald Trump Jr. appears to have a new lady in his life. DJ TJ has been engaged to Kimberly Guilfoyle since 2020, but he's been spotted numerous times, including last night with another woman with a Palm Beach socialite named Bettina Anderson. There is our prince, opening the door to the car for her. What is a date with Don Jr. even like? Do you both sip from straws out of the same Monster Energy?
Trump spends his nights at Mar-a-Lago surrounded by magazine covers, convincing himself the cameras still care. He talks about America like it's a reboot that just needs new writers. But the only twist left is the audience walking out. The dynasty of outrage has gone off air. But Trump keeps performing for an audience that's long gone. Don Jr. claps from the sidelines, still chasing Dad's shadow, rehearsing lines from a canceled script. Kimmel says it's like watching a man bow to an empty theater. The applause he hears now isn't real. It's just the echo of a show that forgot it ended.
The problem is, Trump thinks this is his house, which it is. When you stay at an Airbnb, you're not allowed to blow out a wall. He's not even a renter. He's a guest in the. He thinks he's OJ. He's actually Kato Kalin. I wonder if he's going to invite the winners of the World Series to this.
Don Jr. stands just off stage, smiling to wide, clapping to hard, desperation dressed as devotion. He leans into every camera angle, praying for one last spotlight. But in the Trump circus, there's only one ringmaster and the rest are backup clowns waiting for their cue. Kimmel ends with that classic smirk, half amusement, half disbelief. Because even he can't top reality. The Trumps didn't just cross the line between politics and entertainment, they bulldozed it. Then sold VIP tickets to the chaos.
The other sniveling MAGA turd who has a weird twist on our president's name is Don Jr.
Check this out. Joe Biden, 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 secretly flying. Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden.
As the curtain finally drops, Kimmel shifts from laughter to clarity. This wasn't a presidency, it was programming. A show built on outrage, fueled by denial and streamed straight into history. Every tweet, every scandal, every meltdown wasn't a crisis, it was content. Don Jr. keeps trying to reboot the franchise, convinced fans are still waiting. Trump keeps performing reruns, pacing the same stage, repeating the same script. But America's flipped the channel. The crowd's gone, the applause is memory, and the echo he hears is just his own ego bouncing back. Kimmel's last line hits like truth disguised as punchline. Every show ends, every illusion fades, and every encore dies out. The Trump saga isn't waiting for a sequel, it's already over.